Well, I'm going to try to keep this short because I'm pretty sure I didn't include this footage in another video because, you know, videos tend to run a little bit long for me because I try to explain things. If you know it, it doesn't hurt to listen, and you always have the ability to turn it off, so it's not a big deal for me. It's like a parachute. I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So I typically try to hit my little approach a little more verbal, a little more explanation than, you know, a lot of these guys do. So I had to tweak from the initial build as I was just plugging things in, and you know, we preset everything into general areas. We found out some stuff that was very specific to, like, the water pump outputs. My fans came on, they were really running pretty high, and I thought, well, this is kind of unusual. Board wasn't hot, CPU wasn't hot, whatever. But anyway, we took it off of the water pump controls to put them on other controls so that we can accomplish something that we planned for. Let's roll that beautiful beam footage. Well, we're going to hit this part again because, quite honestly, we shot this, but our videos tend to be a little bit long, so we often trim stuff out. This happens to be one on tuning, a little quick tuning as we learn some things. Now we're in the BIOS, as you can see right here. We're going to go down here to this bottom where it says Fantastic Tuning. It's going to bring up our screen. Now, let's go back over to what we found out as we went into this. Well, down here at the bottom, we had to move some things around because what we ended up finding was we just used some of these ports, and the pump ports. I don't know if I can get in there without causing a shadow, but as we look right there on the board, we see that we had, where we initially put it was on the AIO pump, and what we found was AIO pump is pretty well much running full, I guess it is. I don't know that it does that, but the default mode was running very high, and we looked at it, and that led us to a discovery that we'll talk about. And up top, when we dealt with the temperature sensors, we had them kind of misaligned. Now, I don't know, some of you may not approve of the color coding of the harnesses when we bring them together, but I like it, and it's my machine, so I do it my way. And we get down again, just a reminder, the blue band is the water pump side. It's on the cooler, the vertical cooler, that whatever it is, 3, 4, 140s at by 60 deep. That's a all copper cooler. And the copper cooler versus aluminum will be a function of, you got to be careful what chemicals you put in your loop after you start it up, because some don't like aluminum very well. But anyway, here we are. We've got that. We've got the green, that's the bottom red set of fans. The red is the fans up top. I think I've got, there it is. Yes, you see a little red. So I've got them color coded to remind me where everything is. And we have 3 temperature sensors with this new board. They seem to be new to me. They may not be new to you, but they're new to me, having a main board with temperature sensors, and temperature sensors we can do something with. Well, if we can get up there enough to see, and I don't know we can without getting out the diagram, there's a water pump there, and of course I put the fans, the green fans, for that because it's for the bottom radiator. Well, it has the same problem. It runs the fan a little bit too much. But I was able to then match up chassis fans right there. See what chassis fans, I guess, number 1, and that goes with that green sensor that's on the temperature sensor 1. The red is on temperature sensor 3, and of course, I don't know if we can see it, but that's also on chassis fans 3. So we've got chassis fans 3 with sensor 3. We have number 2 goes down here to this CPU fans 2. It's just a little easier for me to manage in my head. Now, I apologize for the shaky camera. It's being held. Now, here's what I found. CPU fans number 1, you see what our options are. There, it's a profile. If I go to CPU fans 2, which would be the blue, click that, you see I have a curve with it. But I also, on CPU fan 2, I have the ability to attach it to one of the sensors. So I used the 2. Chassis fan, CPU 2 goes to temperature sensor 2, the blue one. Now I found out that when we get down to chassis fan 1, let's get over there. See, that one is also one of those that I can associate with a temperature sensor. So I use temperature sensor 1, just plugging them off and on the main board to get the correlation that I wanted, so it's easy to remember because I'm old and I have other things I have to remember, like when to take my nap, that sort of thing, and what bacon is better than the other bacon, and who has sales. Yes, we live our life gloriously. What we also have, we could do it with chassis fan number 2. It will take a temperature sensor as well. The problem is I only have 3 of them, so I used number 3 just for kicks and giggles so that I would be able to keep sensor 3 with chassis fan 3 and chassis fan 1 with sensor 1, and the odd man out would be CPU fan 2 going with temperature sensor 2. And that's just a little bit of tweak. It's not a big deal, honestly, but it just helps me when I connect it into the actual build to be able to get my fans going kind of the way I want and get the correlation and use it. Because remember, we have a temperature sensor in the coil, in the fins of this rad here, and we have one in the big rad, and then we have another one, as we saw. Let's go take a look at that. Up at the top in the red fans to do the exiting air temperature. See it right there? There it is. It's cute, isn't it? Yes. So if this is included in any of the other videos, I thought I cut it for a time. So we're going to make sure we have it in there, because it just shows you no matter how much research you do on a build, you will find little subtleties that you didn't really pick up on, or maybe not written very well into the manual, that would tell you that, hey, you can't associate every temperature probe with, every controllable output does not necessarily associate with a temperature probe. Let me say it that way. Hey, appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, if you will, subscribe to the channel, either the YouTube or the Rumble channel, which this appears in. And if you can, check the notification bell or settings to make sure that you get notified when new videos are posted. Appreciate it. With, every controllable output does not necessarily associate with a temperature probe. Let me say it that way. Well, let's start off with a gripe that I noticed before. Look, if we're going to build a case that can be reverse built, left to right, upside down, however you want to look at it, fix your buttons so they don't look like everything is upside down. Not that you're not going to see the motherboard inside being upside down, but you could do better. You could double print so that no matter which way, to the right or the left, you've got an M and a C, one for the right side out, one for left side out, right? Your power button is in a terrible, terrible location for reverse build. I have had several unsafe shutdowns already because, well, if it was a normal build, it would be way up here at the top, right? Well, when it's down here at the bottom, if you have to move the chassis around, your hand hits it right there at that button and it shuts the unit down. As always, appreciate you watching more than you know. And like some of these channels say, if you want to contribute, buy me a coffee, do a donation. Remember, we actually sell coffee as a sideline. We don't sell a lot of it because we have a 2.5 kilo roaster. It's a small one, but it is a business. You get a nice, beautiful little package, professionally done. We do have sales going on all the time. Check out the coffee store, maybe buy a clothing or something like that. Clothing is custom made just for you. So, we don't we'll have to do the shipping twice, or we'll hold the order when we get it made, get you something made up, because it's literally made just for you. And I have, of course, if you'll check the website out, lots of colors that other people normally don't. So if you happen to like something other than just black, I do black. As you see my rig, you know black is fine, black is beautiful, but not everybody wants a black piece of clothing all the time. So anyway, check the coffee out if you will. Make a purchase if you want. And I don't ship to the left coast because of some logistic issues, but other than that, wherever you are, pretty well much, I'll try to get to you. If you don't, it just won't let you order it. All right, appreciate you. See ya.